Hello. Today we have a G series BMW. It's a 2.0 diesel, 140 kilowatts from 2018. Today we're going to replace the engine oil and all the filters. So I've already inspected the chassis and the brakes. Everything is in good condition, no accidents, no leaks, everything is dry and clean. Looks really nice overall. Only here I noticed something suspicious. At first I thought maybe this had been screwed in with sealant, but the threads look good. The bolts are fine, so I'm not sure why someone used sealant here. We'll try to clean it, install a new plug, and use a proper washer. Next, we'll move on to changing the engine oil. I've already removed all the covers underneath. 3 covers in the front, a small one in the middle, and a large one under the gearbox. Everything is clean, no grease, nothing sticking, so we're just doing a standard service. Let's also check the inner fender liner. This one is broken. We'll need to remove it, find the part code, and see what options we have. Maybe we'll order an original part, or maybe an aftermarket or used one. We'll see what's available. So, the plan is, change the engine oil, replace all filters, remove the drain plug, and refill with fresh oil. As we can see, sealant was used here for some reason. It's not really clear why. Maybe it was leaking. Let's just install a new plug. The threads are good, and with a proper copper washer it shouldn't leak. New plug, and that's it. I have to admit something I forgot earlier. I screwed the plug back in, but first we actually need to replace the oil filter. I always try to change the filter first when it's located on top, because there's still about 200 to 300 grams of old oil inside the filter. When you remove it, that oil drains back into the crankcase. If you've already drained the oil from the crankcase and then changed the filter, that old oil just goes back in. And that defeats the purpose. So always, if the filter is on top, first remove the filter, then drain the oil. Let's lower the car and take a look at the filter. Here's the filter. First, we put protective covers so we don't scratch or damage anything. The filter cap is here, and it says 25 Newton meters. Why is it important to tighten it exactly as specified, not more? Because both B series and N series engines have a tall filter housing that goes deep inside. That housing often sits close to the cooler or other components. If you over-tighten it, you can shift it slightly out of alignment with the seals. Then, when you try to remove it later, you need more force, and that can damage the seals. In some cases, coolant can even start leaking into the oil, or oil can leak externally just because the housing was over-tightened and misaligned. That's why we tighten it to exactly 25 Newton meters. No more. Let me position the camera so you can see. Let's remove the filter and continue. This is a B Series B 47 4-cylinder diesel engine using a 27 socket. Let's loosen it. Yes, we unscrew it and place it in a container. As I mentioned, look inside. It's full of oil. Maybe not quite half a liter, but a significant amount. That oil just drained into the crankcase. If we had already drained the oil, we would have left that old oil inside. Now let's check the new filter.
Filter stocks.
We clean the cap, replace the rubber seal, A new one is included. There's also a new gasket, so no need to reuse the old one.
Nauja pridėta. Turim ir naują šaibelę, nebereikės ieškoti.
It's important to install the rubber seal in the correct position. If it's placed incorrectly, it won't seal properly. We install it.
Taip, užsidėjom.
Then take a bit of old oil and lubricate the seal so it slides smoothly when tightening.
Prisukant slystų jinai. Filtras.
The filter clicks into place. We clean everything around it thoroughly. We even blow it dry so that if there's any leak later, we'll notice it immediately. We install the filter housing carefully, making sure it aligns properly, then tighten it to 25 Newton meters.
Nes esam turėję variantų. Apsivalėm, susitepėm, kad slystų. Yra toks atsikišimas, jį reikia tam pataikyti. Žiūrim skylutę. Toks pataikėm.
That's it. The filter is installed. We clean around it again so we can easily spot any leaks later. Now we can fully drain the engine oil from the crankcase and refill it. We manage not to spill anything. Now we let the oil drain completely. We clean the drain plug, install a new washer, and remove all the old sealant. As you can see, the oil is no longer dripping. Let's install the plug. Personally, I don't always follow torque specs for the drain plug. I tighten it by feel. Not too tight, not too loose. I know some people will disagree and say to always follow specs, but with experience, you develop a feel for it. I've never had issues with plugs loosening or stripping. Of course, sometimes the washer can fail, but that's a different issue. So we tighten it properly. Not too much, not too little, using a medium ratchet. Then we clean everything. Now we can add fresh oil. I always shake the oil bottle a bit, just to mix everything inside properly before pouring it in. Some people ask why I use Mottle. In this case, the owner requested it. They've used it in other cars and want to continue using it here. Model BMW Long Life 04 meets the required specifications, so it's perfectly fine. Good price to quality ratio and the customer's choice. I didn't check the exact capacity beforehand, but it should be over 5 liters. We'll start with about 5 liters, maybe 4.5, then run the engine and adjust. Luckily, this car still has a dipstick. Many newer gasoline engines don't. They rely only on electronic sensors, which aren't always reliable. So we'll add around 5 to 5.5 liters and check. We start the engine for about 10 to 20 seconds. Then check the level later when the car is level on the ground. Next step, air filter. Loosen the intake pipe, disconnect it slightly, then remove the cover.
Keliam dangtį. Tada oro filtras, šiukšlių truputį turim.
The filter has some debris but isn't too dirty. Still, we replace it. Important to blow out all debris so nothing falls inside. We install the new filter, reinstall the cover, and tighten everything carefully, especially since we're working with plastic. Air filter done. Now the fuel filter. It's located under the driver's side sill. We remove the cover. Easy access here. One plastic 10mm bolt and several metal 8mm bolts. Here's the fuel filter. It has a production date from 2023, so it's relatively recent. Still, I like to write the replacement date with a marker. It helps future owners or mechanics know when it was last changed. We disconnect everything, quick connector, bolts, clips, and remove the filter. We prepare a container for fuel, install the new filter, lubricate the seals slightly so they slide in properly. And reassemble everything in reverse order. We tighten everything carefully.
Dedam laikiklį. Ir iš rankos daveržiu.
I prefer to finish tightening by hand to avoid damaging anything.
Viskas vietoj, viskas vietoj.
We start the car and check for leaks. Everything is dry. Fuel filter replaced. What's left? Cabin filters. Usually they are located in this area. We remove the cover, disconnect wiring, remove clips and screws, and access the filters.
Taip. Čia dar šlangelį nubėgimo kondensato. Jungiam. Kažkas daro. Pasižiūrim visada kryptį. Pasižiūrim.
We always check airflow direction. Sometimes filters are installed incorrectly.
O šiukšlių būna toj pusėj.
In our case, they were installed the wrong way. Even if it seems logical to install the new ones the same way as they were previously installed, always check the arrows. Arrows show the airflow direction.
Būna antraip įdėt.
We install the new filters correctly, clean the area, and reassemble everything.
Dedam kaip buvo. Vienas. Dabar. Ir mes matom, kad įdėjom gerai. Jūs matos. Taip turi būti. Čia išsipūsim šiukšles. Pamėginsiu su viena ranka.
Finally, we clean up, check everything again, and reinstall all covers underneath. We start the engine, check for leaks. Everything is dry. We check the oil level. Cold it was around the middle, now when warm it's just below maximum. Perfect. Everything looks good.
Galim uždaryt.
We reinstall all covers. There are quite a lot of them. The car is done. Let me know how you guys do it. Maybe I do something differently. Maybe you have your own methods. Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.